This training session will cover how to get started with TherapyNotes, which will make managing your practice a lot easier. If you don't already have a TherapyNotes account, sign up for a free trial at www.therapynotes.com so you can follow along with this tutorial. You can also call our customer success team at 215-658-4550 if you have any questions after watching our provided tutorials. We offer live phone support 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, so you can get help when you need it most. As we move along in this tutorial, we'll assume you have the role of practice administrator and that you haven't made any edits in your account. Currently, we're looking at the TherapyNotes welcome page. This is the first page you'll see when you log into TherapyNotes, and the starting page for most of our tutorials. Our main navigation menu is located on the sidebar. In the upper left corner, we have the TherapyNotes logo. Clicking this will bring you back to this page. So if you ever find yourself lost in the system, you can always return to the welcome page. You'll also notice the search bar, which allows you to jump to specific pages in TherapyNotes and find Help Center articles quickly. To collapse the sidebar for a larger view of the page, click the arrow next to the logo in the upper left corner. Click it again to re-expand the sidebar. Continuing down the sidebar, you'll see the menu items. These items are always accessible, and clicking one allows you to quickly jump to that section of the account. In the lower left corner, you'll see the user options such as Profile, Settings, the Help Center, our Contact page, Status page, and Referrals. Another tool for finding your way around your TherapyNotes account is the to-do list. Tasks are automatically added on your to-do list whenever you need to update treatment plans, write notes for previously scheduled appointments, renew administrative documents, submit electronic claims, follow up with clients, and much more. Now that you're able to navigate your TherapyNotes account, you can begin setting it up. Practice information. The first thing we're going to do is edit your practice information. Start by clicking Settings under the User Options section and then Practice Information. This section will show you all the business information. In the address field, add the practice's physical business address. It's important that this section does not include a P.O. box, otherwise your insurance claims will be rejected. For the same reason, make sure your phone number does not include any extensions. As for preferred email contact, this tells TherapyNotes where notifications for the account should be sent. This email address must be the address for a practice administrator on the account. You'll learn about user roles later in this training section. In the Practice Web Address section, you can add the URL for your practice's website. If added, this URL will appear on your statements. Moving lower, you'll see a section for an NPI number. This NPI number should be your practice's billing or Type 2 NPI number. If you're a solo practitioner and only have one NPI number, use that number here. Likewise, make sure you've entered the correct tax ID you'll be using for billing. This will be an employer identification number in a group practice, but can be an employer identification number or social security number in a solo practice. In the taxonomy code box, enter the taxonomy code used for the practice. If you're having trouble finding your taxonomy code, hover your cursor over the question mark, then follow the link to the NUCC website. Then, under Accessing Your Account, you can find and edit your practice code. Any changes to the practice code will apply to all users, so please inform other users if any changes are made. Lastly, you can add a welcome message which will be displayed on each staff member's TherapyNotes homepage, so be sure not to include any sensitive information here. This is a convenient spot to put practice announcements. Once you're done updating your practice information, click Save Practice Settings. Practice documentation. Next, let's take care of your practice documentation. To do this, click Settings under User Options again, then TherapyNotes Subscription. Scroll down to Practice Documents and Agreements. Under this section, you'll want to upload your signed business associate agreement as well as the professional will if you haven't already. The BAA is required by HIPAA and should be completed before you enter any PHI into your TherapyNotes account. Your professional will is similar to a personal will in that it covers what should happen with your practice, including your TherapyNotes account, in the event you are unexpectedly unable to continue your practice. We provide links to additional information about your professional will and even a sample for you to follow. If sales tax is applied to your account, you will see this exemption option. However, not all states currently require this, so check in your TherapyNotes account or on our Help Center to see if your state applies. Multiple practice locations. Now, let's go back to Settings and look at multiple practice locations under the Portal and Scheduling section. If all your services are conducted at the same location, you'll likely never need this option. However, if you provide services outside of your office, this option is essential for accurate documentation. To enable this feature, check the box next to Enable Multiple Location Support. This will cause a list of alternate locations to appear. To add an alternate location, simply click Add Location and enter the information. Make sure the place of service code is appropriate for your documentation. If you need to add more than one alternate location, you may repeat the process as many times as you'd like. If you'd like a modifier code to appear on every claim for a specific location, you can enter it in these fields. Modifier codes are covered in separate videos, so don't worry if you're unsure what to enter. Once you've added the locations, click Save Changes. Adding user information, user roles. Now that the locations are saved, you may choose them whenever you make an appointment. Once this is done, you'll add user information to your account. To add your own user information, click Profile in the User Options section. Within the Roles box, select the user roles that apply to you. You can see what each of these roles allow by reading the description below them. If you don't see the descriptions, toggle the Show Instructions button in the upper right corner of this box. Please be aware that some of the roles in TherapyNotes will raise your subscription price, while other roles are no additional cost. For a price list, go to the TherapyNotes subscription page we visited earlier. Within the User Information field, record your professional details. You're going to want to pay special attention to Type of Clinician, which determines the type of notes you can access, and the taxonomy code, which is required for Medicare and Medicaid claims. In addition, make sure that your formal name, license number, and individual MPI match what is on file with insurance to prevent your claims from being rejected. Finally, you'll also notice a therapy search icon in the upper right corner of this page and the staff list page. These icons will allow you to join Therapy Search if you haven't already, or quickly access your Therapy Search account. Two-factor authentication. After saving your user information, it's a good time to set up two-factor authentication, or 2FA. 2FA prevents unauthorized access to your account by requiring an additional code when you log in. To set this up, you must first enroll your TherapyNotes account in it by going to the User Options and clicking Profile, and then enroll in 2FA. Click Next and scan the code or enter the key. If you don't have an authentication app on your phone, you'll need to add that first. After that, follow the remaining on-screen prompts to complete the process. Once you're enrolled, you can require all practice users to use 2FA or enroll staff individually on their user profiles. However, this feature is recommended for every user on your TherapyNotes account. For further instructions, please refer to our Help Center article or give our support team a call. New user and work schedule. If you have new staff in your practice, you can provide them an account by clicking the Staff tab, then New User. Here, you'll need to select the proper roles for this user and fill out the remaining information. After you click Save New User, you'll be given a temporary password to provide to the user. Please keep in mind that this password is case-sensitive and that the user will make a permanent password after entering this one. Now that your new user has been recorded, you can set up their work schedule. Work schedules define the start and end of a clinician's workday and provide an easy reference for each clinician's availability for schedulers. If a clinician does not have a work schedule set, TherapyNotes will allow an appointment to be created at any time without warning. Work schedules should be set for any user with a clinical role in TherapyNotes. If any user attempts to create an appointment for a clinician outside of that clinician's designated work schedule, a warning will appear to alert the user of a scheduling conflict. While work schedules are not required to schedule appointments through TherapyNotes, they are required to allow clients to view a clinician's availability and request appointments on Therapy Portal, your custom client portal. To set up work schedule access, go to Settings in the User Options, then Security in the Account and Access section. Scroll to the Work Schedule Access section, where you can give clinicians ability to edit their work schedule by selecting Clinicians can edit their own work schedule, or remove that access and select Only practice administrators can edit work schedules. If you select this option, you'll need to set a work schedule for each clinician in your practice. If you'd like to set up a work schedule for a new user, click the Staff tab, then choose a clinical user, and select the Work Schedule tab. Since we're already in this user's profile, I'm going to set up their work schedule from here. After clicking the Work Schedule tab, click Edit in the Clinician Scheduling Settings box, where you can edit preferences, the clinician's work schedule, add adjusted availability, and enter the locations where a clinical user is working. In the clinician scheduling settings, you can edit whether clinicians can allow patients to request appointments through Therapy Portal by checking the Patients May Use Portal for Scheduling box, and clinicians can indicate whether they are accepting new patients by checking the Accepting New Patients box, which is defaulted to accepting. If a clinician unchecks this box, their name will appear under a Not Accepting New Patients section when scheduling a therapy or psychiatry intake, and be hidden in the list of available providers in Therapy Portal when a new client requests an appointment. To create a work schedule, click Add New Schedule. You can customize your weekly availability and set up your schedule's name, which by default are named Schedule 1, Schedule 2, and so forth. You can rename a schedule at any time. Feel free to use descriptive titles like Summer Fridays or Telehealth on Tuesdays to match your needs. You can set different start and end dates for each schedule you create, customize the repeat interval to occur weekly, every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks, or every 4 weeks. You may notice the total weekly hours adjust at the top right corner of your schedule as you add or remove time. You can also set availability on a day-by-day basis. To get started, select the day from the left side of the work schedule and specify the start and end time for that specific availability block. For practices using TherapyNotes Telehealth, clinicians can set one of 3 appointment mode preferences for each availability block: telehealth only, in-person only, and both. When scheduling a new appointment, a banner will appear below the location field if it conflicts with the clinician's selected mode, helping prevent errors such as booking an in-person session during a telehealth-only time block. You can also select a location from the drop-down menu, and if you or your practice have multiple locations, they will also be available here. To remove a scheduled time, click the X button to the right of the corresponding availability. To add additional availability, click the plus button to add availability to that day. You can also copy availability to another day by clicking the copy icon and select the day you want to copy on the drop-down menu. You can create and manage multiple schedules with defined start and end dates. This makes it easier to manage varying availability, such as rotating shifts or seasonal hours, without constantly editing a single schedule. To set up a new work schedule, simply click Add New Schedule, then follow the same steps above to create another work schedule. Each new work schedule will be displayed as a list. If you need to delete a work schedule, click Delete Schedule at the top right of the schedule. Then click Delete Schedule again to confirm and permanently remove the work schedule. From the Work Schedule tab, you can set additional availability by clicking Add Adjusted Availability to create the appointment type that suits your needs. If a clinician needs to make an exception to their regular schedule, you can add a scheduled event or mark them as unavailable on both the clinician's work schedule and from the scheduling page. These entries prevent appointments from being booked during those times and block availability on Therapy Portal. Additionally, if you would like to add one-off scheduling availability, add an extra availability appointment to the calendar. Clients can still request appointments through the client portal during practice-wide scheduled events. Before we continue with this training session, we'd like to remind you that if you have any questions, you can find additional resources by going to the user options and clicking Help. This will bring you to our Help Center, which contains numerous articles and videos explaining how to use TherapyNotes. If you'd prefer one-on-one assistance, you can call our support line or send us an email. As always, our support is unlimited and there is no additional cost.
Upload patients' demographics.
If you have existing clients, you have two options for adding your patients to your TherapyNotes account. The first option you have is to upload your patient's demographics into TherapyNotes if you're converting from another EHR.
To do this, first contact TherapyNotes support so our team knows to expect your patient demographics and can provide you with the exact information you'll need to format the spreadsheet.
Next, prepare the spreadsheet with your patient's demographic information. Then, under the user options, click Contact Us. Then scroll down and click Send a File to our team within the support box. Then click Send a File to TherapyNotes staff. Select the file. Add a description and click Add Document. Once the file is uploaded, the import is generally completed within 1 to 3 business days. In addition to contacting our support team for assistance with formatting the spreadsheet, you can also check out our Help Center articles.
Create a new patient.
If you're not transferring from another EHR or don't have an Excel spreadsheet with your patient demographics, you can also enter your patients manually. To do this, go to the Patients tab, then click New Patient. As you're completing these fields, make sure the information you're using matches the information on their insurance card if they're using insurance. Within this section, there are several fields you'll need to pay special attention to, such as the Preferred Name field, which should be used for patients who wish to be referred to by a name other than their legal name. Please note that this name may be used in appointment reminders and should not be used for categorization or account numbers. If you would like to add the patient account number or social security number, you can do so in the corresponding fields. These fields are not enabled by default but can be turned on under Settings within the Patient Records section. Several fields are available for patient phone numbers. If your client would like to have appointment reminders sent to their phone, make sure a non-work number is added and you've selected what types of messages are allowed. Then you can select what types of reminders the patient would like to receive using the drop-down menu under Appointment Reminders. Please note that this field is not visible by default and appointment reminders need to be enabled in the settings. You'll also want to note the difference between the administrative sex and gender identity fields. Administrative sex is meant to record the patient's legal sex for insurance purposes, while gender identity can more accurately reflect how the patient identifies. Also, if you have more than one clinician in the practice, make sure you select the clinical user this patient is assigned to by using the drop-down menu next to Assigned Clinician. This selection is required for a clinician to be able to schedule appointments and write notes for a patient. Keep in mind that if a clinician adds a patient into the account, that patient will automatically be assigned to the clinician who added them. Once all the patient information has been entered, you can add them into your account by clicking Save New Patient. If you want to enter multiple patients in a row, click Save and Create Another. Performing this action will automatically bring you to a new blank patient screen.
Once saved, you'll see the Contact section, which allows you to keep track of the contact information for anyone relevant to the patient's treatment, such as family members, primary care physicians, or other emergency contacts. Upload your practice logo.
Next, we're going to discuss how you can customize your TherapyNotes account by uploading your practice logo. Uploading your practice logo adds a personal touch to your account since it will appear on your practice login page, statements, and printed notes. To upload your logo, click Settings, Practice Logo under the Account and Access section, and then click Choose File and select the logo file from your computer. To replace your practice logo, simply click Choose File again and select a new image file. If you want to remove your logo, click Delete Logo, then Delete Logo again.
Client Portal.
Now that your logo is uploaded, let's set up your client portal. To do this, go back to Settings and click Client Portal under the Portal and Scheduling section. The Client Portal is one of the best tools your practice can enable because it can be used for scheduling appointments, sharing files with your patients, signing documents, and meeting via telehealth. To enable this feature, check the box next to Enable your TherapyPortal.com client portal and click Save Portal Settings. Once you've enabled the client portal, you'll have lots of options for customizing it and determining which clinicians and patients can use it. For this training session, we're going to make sure appointments are requestable by anyone under practice scheduling settings. Then go to Document Sharing Settings and make sure the box next to Allow documents to be shared with patients via the client portal is checked. For a more in-depth look at portal options, you can check out our Help Center articles. But for now, just scroll to the bottom and click Save Portal Settings.
Patient Portal.
Now, let's set up a patient's client portal account. To do this, go to Patients, then select a patient's name, and go to the Patient's Portal tab. As long as the patient's name, email address, and date of birth have been recorded, you'll see a button labeled Send Welcome Email. Clicking on this button will send an email to the client, which they will then use to create their portal account. Once the portal account is set up, a patient can use any of the features you've enabled in the portal, such as requesting appointments and electronically signing paperwork.
Patient Credit Card Processing.
The last option we're going to look at in this tutorial is patient credit card processing. Patient credit card processing is a tremendous convenience for both you and your patients. Once enabled, your patient's card information can be stored on file and charged anytime you enter a patient payment. Additionally, our autopay feature will charge saved cards automatically each night for enabled patients. This can remove the unease around collecting payments for services and missed appointments while your patient has the convenience of being able to pay by card even when they forget to bring it. If you'd like to get started with credit card processing, go to Settings, click Payment Processing under the Billing section, then click Apply Now and follow the prompts to complete the application. That concludes our Getting Started tutorial. If you need additional support, check out our Help Center to access our library of articles and videos. If you prefer one-on-one assistance, our support team is available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. To try TherapyNotes for yourself, visit TherapyNotes.com and sign up for a free 30-day trial. Thanks for watching!